I'm looking at Dave Brown's seat, Eastern Hanover. I'm looking also. I'm also watching Central Manchester. I'm very interested to see how many persons have cast a ballot for Smart World Technology or whatever his company is, Mr. Rohan Chung. Yes, and I'm also watching Southeast, my home constituency, Southeast St. Catherine, with Colin Fagan and Robert Miller.
Well, those are among some of the constituencies we believe will be key to this election. But the People's National Party's president, Dr. Peter Phillips, had earlier said he was looking for some 40 seats this election. This morning, he was asked the same question and he sought to have rescinded, saying that he's not putting a number on it. But so far, Doreen, we are just about uh, an hour, since maybe an hour and a half since the close of polls, and the JLP seems to be leading in the majority of the seats. Are you still at that same position? JLP now leading in 28 seats, PNP 11.
When 75% of the boxes are counted, I think then we'll know where we are going.
Well, another key thing to look at is the popular vote. So far, the JLP has 55,233 votes in terms of the popular vote. The PNP 42,223. Independent candidates 276. So that 10 of that is for Rohan Chung.
Yeah, Mr. Chung is doing very well enough. He will not get back his deposit. I can put that out there now. But 10 votes, and maybe the 10 persons who nominated him, well, he's doing well. If he can get over that number in terms of the number of people who nominated him, it would be a plus. It would be a win for him, and he would have also gotten public attention in the same way that Asta Black has gotten the level of public attention. I tell you a story. I remember being in West Portland for that by-election, that the dual citizenship by-election.
Yes.
And we were just poking phone at Rasta Black. And he responded by saying, how many of you knew of Rasta Black before politics? And it's $3,000 for the nomination fee, and the level of press coverage that you get. It's not something they can pay for.
Did you hear about Smart World or
Never
whatever
before,
it is? Never. But you know now. But you know now.
Yes, that is it.
So it in a sense, certainly from the publicity standpoint, it's worth every dollar.
People will be tasting the coffee.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, let's look over now to the popular vote. It keeps rolling. So the JLP is still leading in 28 seats, the PNP 11. The JLP, though, has 55,196 in the popular vote, the PNP 42,301. Any constituency you're picking up, Clive Monroe Jr., which is of significance at this point?
Right now, I was looking at the same Peter Shand, the Northwest St. Anne seat, because I'm very, very fascinated by this seat. I'm really wondering if he will do what he set out to do and really spoil this vote. So far, Crystal Lee continues to be in the lead. She has 1,895 votes. Don't see any more votes for Mr. Shand. He's not 276. But Dayton Campbell so far, with 37 of the 127 boxes counted, he's up to 1,708 votes. So he's short the better part of 200 votes with 276 to Mr. Shand.
Well, let's look at Clarendon Northern. This is another constituency to watch, where Dwight Sibley's of the JLP has 2,083 votes to Horace Daly of the PNP 1,644. It is expected that Clarendon Northern is going to prove to be a difficult one for the People's National Party. The JLP has said that it will be claiming the seat and seems very confident about that. Horace Daly is the incumbent. He would have won back in 2016, holding 7,029 votes to the Caswell Pinnock of the JLP 6,292. So, Darren, you're also closely watching Clarendon Northern, I would imagine.
Yes, and if you remember 2007 when Horace Daly lost that seat to Laurie Project, he said he lost because a lot of the people in the seat were on farm work. I don't think a lot of farm workers are overseas now. I think COVID has caused a lot of them to be here. And so Horace Daly will have to, I think, dig in and fight for his life here. It's interesting, though. It would be interesting to see where these votes are coming from. Yes, if they're coming from the Kellis division, then he would think that he could make it up back in Croftsdale or in and town. But otherwise, 44% to 56%. Though early days 16%, you need to get a little sprint now.
Yes. So Dr. McAlpin, what do you make of what's happening in the diaspora though? You're in the United States. I'm sure you would be getting your calls or palms out there. What do you make of what's happening in the diaspora in relation to interest in the Jamaican election?
Well, I think the next government will, whomever constituted, will have to seriously consider diaspora voting. I've had so many conversations about what is happening, and I think the attention factor is also much keener because we have far less things to occupy our times here because so many of us are working from home. Beyond that, I think the reality of the pandemic is also impacting the kind of interest that persons in the diaspora have, certainly from the ones I've been in communication with here in New York and in the tri-state area, New Jersey and friends in Connecticut. So I think there's a keen interest. Unfortunately, I don't think that translates into the kind of voting turnout that people are expecting. But certainly if you watch social media, the voter turnout on social media, I've never seen so many purple fingers in my entire life. Everyone is posting purple fingers. So I think there's a 90% voter turnout in social media. So I think the actual turnout won't be any more than 30% or thereabout.
But then it's nothing new though. We've always been hearing about people who are in the diaspora wanting to come back here and wanting to vote, and we've not had any real step made towards making that happen.
Well, I think there are issues of law, and I will leave that to Mrs. Walker Huntington to talk about. But I think from the political perspective, it sounds like a nice idea to rile up the diaspora, especially in light of economic contractions. I think Jamaica will have to rely on the diaspora even more significantly in the next financial quarter, given the economic contraction. But I honestly don't think any of the governments so constituted over the last 20 years have really seriously engaged the idea. Beyond talking about diaspora councils and diaspora commissions, I honestly think that it's full time that kind of conversation becomes front and center, given not just the economic, but the social outreach and the social impact of the Jamaican diaspora, as large and influential as it is in South Florida, in the Northeast, in Canada, in the UK. I think we have to consider diaspora voting. I think from the perspective of those I've spoken to, it's not just a legal issue. I think it's also a question of how exactly and where exactly it would be done. Maybe we could use our consulates, maybe we could do absentee ballots, but I think the time is ripe to engage it. It has been tokenism thus far, and I don't expect that it's very high on the agenda of anyone who will constitute the next government.
Well, let's bring in Mrs. Walker Huntington now. Mrs. Delia Walker Huntington is an immigration attorney in the United States. Mrs. Walker Huntington, thank you so very much for joining us. What really has been the interest of the diaspora in the Jamaican election from the United States where you are?
Well, thank you for having me. Let me.
I'm sorry, just checking.
Having a little difficulty hearing you, so I hope that everyone can hear me clearly. Good evening. So a few things. First of all, the interest that I've seen for this election in Jamaica has not been as engaged as I've seen in the past, and I think it could be too that we in the United States are in a election season, very heated, probably one of the most engaged election seasons in the United States in 2020. So from that perspective, I think I've seen it fallen off as in the past. But to piggyback on what Mr. McAlpin has been saying about the diaspora voting, I have never been for the diaspora voting in the sense of one person, one vote, because we're 2.9 million people approximately in Jamaica, and the diaspora is about 2 million. So the concern that I've had, of course, is that people outside of Jamaica could vote and influence the election in Jamaica without having to live with the
Well, pick up it right
consequences.
there because we have some results from St. Catherine North Central, where Natalie Nita Headley, or Natalie Nita, I beg your pardon, is going up against the JLP's Natalie Campbell Rodriguez. Natalie Nita has said that she is the Nita Natalie. She has 1,525 votes to the JLP's Campbell Rodriguez 1,138, with 29 boxes counted so far. 104 is the target. So again, Nita Headley, 1,525, Campbell Rodriguez, 1,138. Independent candidate John Henry has 9 votes, as well as Lloyd Smith, an independent candidate also who has 4 votes. But let's allow you to continue, Mrs. Walker Huntington.
Yes, are you coming back to me? Yes. Okay, so the difficulty with the diaspora voting is who are you going to vote for? We have a constituency-based parliamentary system in Jamaica. Who would you vote for if you're in the diaspora? There are other countries whose diaspora vote, but there are certain requirements. One is you must have a passport for your country. You have to pay taxes in your country. So I think those things have to be worked out. And from 2004, when the first diaspora conference was convened until now, we've had various politicians on both sides talk about whether or not they want to engage the diaspora in voting. And I think the consensus has been appointing or an elected member of the Senate from the diaspora. In 2010, the Joint Senate Committee on Diaspora said a Senate representative, both leaders of parties now, Peter Phillips, Andrew Holness has talked about fuller engagement with the diaspora. Even Portia Simpson when she was Prime Minister, and Ed Bartlett when he was the shadow minister for the diaspora talked about this. And I think the important thing is to have the representation that we seek, the deeper engagement beyond remittances and NGOs. And I think representation in the Senate would be the best alternative. And I'm hoping that going forward, whoever forms the new government will form a deeper engagement along those lines to fully engage the diaspora, either by each party appointing a member of the Senate from the diaspora, or finding a mechanism for the election of a representative to sit in the Senate from the diaspora. I think that would go a long way towards showing members of the diaspora that the government is meaningful beyond the diaspora councils that Mr. McAlpin had talked about, or an advisory board, but something with more.
Thank you so very much for joining us. Lydia Walker Huntington, an immigration attorney.
My pleasure.
Great. And as we say goodbye to Mrs. Walker Huntington, results coming in from St. Anne Southeastern, where the PNP's Lisa Hanna is trying to retain the seat. She has 2,840 votes. That's 2,840. And Delroy Granston, the late candidate of the Jamaica Labour Party, he has 2,829. That's close. We go to a break here on Jamaica Votes. We'll be right back.
We look at life through different lenses, but with each one, we experience pride, sorrow, fear, success, joy. We grow and we change. The Gleaner, where life unfolds.
Not all multi-link debit card transactions are made equal. Some are amusing, others are fun. Some happen in the middle of the night, many happen on the run. Some are for necessities and some are just a treat. A few are unexpected and some are planned for weeks. But all of them are important, all of them unique. So Multilink empowers you with secure 24/7 all-island access to your money, so you can complete the most important transaction of all, yours.
Not getting what you want from your current provider? No unlimited talk and text to any network? Unlimited YouTube? Get unlimited local anywhere talk?
Eastern. At the moment, 53 of 110 boxes favor Williams, 3,084. Venetia Phillips, 2,309.
Now, this was an interesting seat again because traditionally the JLP wins in Mona, the PNP wins in Papine. In 2016, though, when Andre Hilton lost by 161, when you looked at Papine division, the PNP vote was significantly suppressed. In fact, the PNP voters didn't look as if they came out for Andre Hilton at all.
No.
In the Papine division, the PNP vote was about 400 down over the 2011 results. So it's a Papine division, in fact, that lost it for Andre Hilton. So it'll be interesting, since Venetia Phillips is councillor in Papine, to see if she manages to bring out her voters in sufficient numbers to bring the seat home for her.
But you also have to put in the enumeration factor, because I understand that there has been some enumeration taking place in the constituency, and that would also help to determine who wins the constituency.
We're seeing Southeast Clarence, Southeast St. Catherine at the moment. Big seat we're watching as well. Robert Miller for the JLP, now having 397 votes to Colin Fagan, the incumbent, 232, just 6 out of 122 boxes counted there.
Yes, that one is very early, but let's go to Manchester Southern, where I think they have progressed quite a bit in terms of the counting there. Held long by the People's National Party.
Yeah.
And expected to stay there.
Well, thus far,
Norman Manley's seat.
Yes, it's not looking too good for the PNP at the moment. As you said, we don't know exactly where these boxes are coming from, but you see the JLP is holding a considerable lead at the moment, and that's 54 out of 114 boxes.
Almost halfway.
Yes, but still not at that. I think a critical mass where you can.
Yeah. That's a seat that became the subject of a magisterial recount in 1972 between Douglas Manley and Arthur Williams Sr. Arthur Williams Sr. eventually won that seat. Yes. But the PNP has dominated there.
Right.
Floyd, would you have been expecting Michael Stewart to hold on to this seat?
Yeah, it's one of the seats that we are expecting that Michael would hold on in terms of the way how the constituency has voted over the years. And it has a strong block of PNP voters.
There. St. Anne's Southwest with Xavier Main. Earl, give us those numbers.
4,277 for Xavier Main of the JLP, and 2,110 for Valentin Wint of the PNP. That is 64 out of 103 boxes. So
Okay.
Xavier
That
Main
is-
seems to be
Yes.
well en route
Right.
to
Yes.
retaining that seat. And Mr. Wint, once again, having traveled from Manchester Northeast to St. Anne Southwest, I don't think he's going to be in luck tonight.
Certainly doesn't appear so.
Let's look at Clarendon Southeast. Big contest there between Patricia Duncan Sutherland of the PNP and Pernell Charles Jr. Clarendon Southeast, last time I updated it, they were on 32 boxes. It is now 49 boxes. Pernell Charles Jr. on 3,431 and Patricia Duncan Sutherland 1,979.
It's 57 boxes.
That's 57 now?
57 out of 135.
Okay. Right. And I checked West Rural a moment ago. Something interesting is happening in West Rural St. Andrew. If we could
All
just...
right. While you figure that out, Emily, let's just go to a break. You're watching Decision 2020 here on TVJ. We'll be back in a minute.
TVJ's Decision 2020, brought to you by...
Get unlimited local anywhere talk, all the social and YouTube you want, plus data. Here's your new SIM, your same number. Just dial *129 *6 number sign to get your 5-day plan.
Bring your products or services directly to customers. Introducing ShopQMall.com. Business has never been easier. ShopQMall.com.
Build your body's defense with Tetley Super Tea Immune with lemon and ginger, fortified with vitamin C to support your immune system. Also available, Tetley.
Mosaic, ceramic, and porcelain tiles on sale. Bathroom fixtures and faucets, laminate flooring, granite countertops, windows, doors, home decor, all on sale. Yes, the deals are heating up at Home and Things, Old Hope Road and Constant Spring Road. Check out the hot summer specials now on at Home and Things.
Whether you're a new driver, now you can renew your policy online and print your cover note, all from the convenience of your home. MIB Insure. No worries, big savings.
Take advantage of online classes on your smart devices and get certified locally and internationally for thousands of high-paying jobs today at Distinction College. Get ready to work in practical, geriatric, and pediatric nursing, call center, receptionist, business administration, supervisory management, customer service, cashiering, housekeeping, food preparation, food and beverage, travel, tourism, childcare, early childhood education, TXE subjects, and more. No subjects required, no age limit. Register this week and get up to 20% discount on all school fees. Classes begin soon. Call us at 876-356-4167 or visit distinctioncollege.com.
Drink healthy, drink to life with high premium purified drinking water from Blake's Water Store, Ligony, Duhaney Park, Portmore, UWI Mona, or stay home. We deliver. Conditions apply.
Okay, thank you so much for staying with us here on Decision 2020. We're continuing to bring you the results. Now, there are a number of seats we're watching. I know Emily and Earl want to.
Lead, Dayton Campbell, 3,509. Dayton Campbell, 3,039. And Peter Shand, the independent, 428. So he is certainly, it seems, making the difference in this particular contest.
Yeah.
66 out of 127 boxes.
Lots of nail biting going on right now, Earl.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
I would think so.
Yes,
That's
a lot of digging.
Shand factor.
Yes.
There's a trend that is developing here. If we pop over, well, North Central is now on the screen, and it's just 8 out of 100 boxes counted.
Clarendon.
In Clarendon, North Central, Pernell Charles's old seat, Hugh Shearer's old seat as well. North Trelawney, halfway, they are through the boxes. Horace Daly, the incumbent, and he's trailing. He has 2,997 votes to Dwight Sibley's 3,588 votes. Northern Clarendon, no, Northern and Northwest would normally walk together. We'll go to that in a moment. Clarendon Central has been Mike Henry's baby for a long time, and we expect that it will stay that way. 5 boxes, yeah, 5 boxes out of Clarendon Southeast, 57 of 135. Pernell Charles Jr. taking over from Roddy Spencer, having won that by-election. He's now 3,920 votes to 2,337 for Patricia Duncan Sutherland, who's been working this seat for the last 6 years. So I was telling you that Northern and Northwest, they vote together, but Horace Daly is struggling a moment. 14 boxes counted in Northwestern, and Philip Henriquez is leading 953 to Richard Azan's 556. Yeah.
Clarendon Southwestern, Lothan Cousins, he has 828 to Kent Gammon of the JLP, a man who has traveled far and wide as well. He has 426, 13 boxes out of 96. This is one of the stronger PNP constituencies, and the PNP's candidate is holding it thus far.
Yeah, and he has a very strong presence in...
sorry to interrupt you, Floyd, but this is one of those seats everybody's been
Yes.
watching very closely. St. Catherine Northeastern, Earl.
Yes, the JLP's Kanisha Morrison, she is leading 2,650 to Oswest Senior Smith, 1,308, a man who had tried his hand in Northeast St. Anne before.
Right.
So 54 of 107 boxes, and the JLP is looking very good in that seat.
Okay, so it's shaping up to be an interesting night, but we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
TVJ's Decision 2020, brought to you by...
Get unlimited local anywhere talk, all the social and YouTube you want, plus data. Here's your new SIM, your same number. Just dial *129 *6 number sign to get your 5-day plan.
Bring your products or services directly to customers. Introducing ShopQMall.com. Business has never been easier. ShopQMall.com.
Shop home and things for big savings. Your construction finishes store. Lowest price guarantee. Get everything you need to live your style and love your home. So much value in store. Top brands for sure. Customer service with a smile. Shop home and things and live your style. Shop home and things for big savings. Your construction finishes store. Make every room a beautiful thing. Live your style at home and things.
Bank safely with the Community and Workers of Jamaica internet banking or mobile app. Pay your bills, transfer funds, apply for a loan. C&WJ Cooperative Credit Union. Discover the benefits of belonging.
Pavilion Jewelers in the Springs Plaza is your choice for wedding rings, necklaces, watches, and lots more. The time by Pavilion Jewelers in the Springs Plaza is
7:01.
Every year, you may be throwing away millions on car insurance.
When it comes to saving on car insurance, why get a quote from only one insurer when you can compare 10 with MIBinsure.com? They all claim to save you money, but only MIBinsure.com shows you who actually can.
Save up to 60% or more with MIBinsure.com today. No worries, big savings.
You know this as Timbo. Onion get chopped. Dasha. Pepper get chopped.
Hot it up and spice it up.
Nothing fritter.
And then mackerel, the taste of quality.
Connect Services is here to solve the connectivity problems of the modern world. Our services are broad-based, solar installation, structured networking, smart building solutions, 24-hour IT technical support services, and more. But they all come with the same promise of quality and professionalism. Contact us today.
What Jamaica needs now is you. From the small crafters to the largest stores across the island. Bring your products or services directly to customers. Introducing ShopQMall.com, your rent-free online retail space that takes care of all your business needs. Just register at ShopQMall.com/seller. Upload your product information, and that's it. QBot will take care of the pickup, the delivery, and your payment. Business has never been easier. ShopQMall.com.
2020 high school graduates across Jamaica. Be a part of the mini.
You're now tuned in to the Cold Hard Truth, Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands.
Good evening, folks. Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the Cold Hard Truth. I was just looking down, making sure that I've got my mic all ready to go. Hello, Lee, Amy. Oh, so nice of Amy to join us. She's here talking about clickbait. So Amy's going to try to be an ass tonight. Not a problem, Amy. She's here to defend her friend Nikki, who works with Engel and Vogel, or whatever the name of the company is. And we are certainly going to be talking about that tonight. So we'll give Amy an opportunity to come in here and insult us even more and harass us, because we know that that's what Amy is here for. Not a problem. Does Amy even live in the Cayman Islands? I got to admit that I'm wondering. Hi, Debbie. Stacy is here for it. Yes, folks. Unbeknownst to Amy, because I'm sure they know nothing about the Cayman Islands. I'm going to be very frank here, and I don't give a shit who doesn't like it, because people like Amy need a little bit of a wake-up call, and we are going to give it to her tonight. So Nikki has not said a word, but she's got people like Amy and her boyfriend, husband, fiance, I don't know what their legal status is, was on her page defending her. And someone mentioned me and said, oh, by the way, you do know that that's her partner, right? And I thought, well, I didn't know, but that made perfect sense. So someone said, you realize that Michael Trici is defending Nikki Thomas because they're in a relationship or married or whatever. So here we go, folks. The Cold Hard Truth is the name of the show. And tonight will be no exception. The regulars on this program know that we give it to you cold and we give it to you hard. But we always give you the truth. And so those of you who are here to defend bullshit, I suggest you change the channel. So while Amy's talking about clickbait, she doesn't even understand that the Cayman Islands has very strong connections to Jamaica, that over 50% of our population are actual Jamaican nationals, not her. She's probably from Canada. I don't really know where, or somewhere in the US. I'm sure Amy's going to give us all the details of her life story here in a second. And of course, because we have close connections historically with Jamaica, Jamaica is our closest physical island, as well as a lot of Caymanian families have connections and are interconnected with Jamaica. So yes, Amy, we actually do care what happens in the rest of the world. We're not self-absorbed as a country, right? We're not just about the Cayman Islands. We do give a shit about what happens in Jamaica, even what happens in the US elections. We do watch it because all of it has an impact on us. We live in a global community, believe it or not. And part of living in a global community means that you have to understand when you move to somebody else's country that you need to have a little bit of respect for their culture, for their people, and just the way that they do things. You don't come to the Cayman Islands and decide that you're going to disrespect us without being put in your place. Maybe you were used to it before the Cold Hard Truth. I don't know, honey, but no more. So let's get into it. Stacy, thank you so much for tuning in. Cameron is tuning in as well. Olivia, thank you. Karen is here for it. Thank you, Karen. Amy says, I will not, but your headline says you're talking about the JA if the week. I don't know what the fuck that means. Oh, excuse my language. I don't know what that means. Not about the jam elections. So, oh, the jackass of the day. I don't think we called her jackass of the week. But Amy, are you suggesting that she should be jackass of the week? Okay. So you missed it, Amy, but about 6:30, we went live to the Jamaican elections, and we actually specifically said at the bottom, this is where you got to read, Amy. It's important to read. It said, we are showing the results of the Jamaican election until 7 p.m. when we go live. Now, I went live at 7:01 p.m., so excuse me for being a minute late, Amy. But are you ready, folks? Do you have your tea ready? Grab a beer, grab some water, grab some Milo. Amy probably doesn't even know what Milo is. Grab some Milo because we're here to talk about it. Kenneth Bryan, thank you so much, Kenneth, for logging into the show. Cannot wait until our general election. So the election tonight is getting me all geared up for what we're going to be doing here on Cayman Mall Road come May the 26th of next year. I hope we get some really good candidates. Canada's already in there. We're hoping to get some good candidates together who can put a government together that will actually be standing for the people of the Cayman Islands. So let us get on with it. Leanne says, are we not concerned about Cameron's comments? Are the comments as person acceptable? To be honest, Cameron is on here every single day making comments, and we don't read half of Cameron's comments because I think Cameron be smoking something, like legit. So Cameron is entitled to, I think Cameron's a man. I always sometimes accidentally say her, but I think Cameron's actually a guy. Cameron is entitled to his opinion within reason. I mean, obviously, this is the cold hard truth. We try not to filter people, to be honest. It's when people kind of go overboard that we say, hold on, you need to rein it in or you will get blocked. Amy's entitled to her opinion. I don't care, right? Leanne, everybody has an opinion, just like everybody has a you know what. So at the end of the day, I am more than happy to have your opinions posted. And most of the time, if you notice, Leanne, please, you made me choke. If you notice, CMR does not even get into back and forth. We allow you guys to just have the discussion. We put it out there in public. And I want to now review with all of you why Nikki was made Jackass of the Day. Because some of you were defending her. And listen, I get it. Nikki's your friend. She's your girl from back home, Amy. She is, what's his name? Michael? Michael, that's your wife. That's your girlfriend, whatever the case may be. That's who you're with. So you're going to defend her no matter what she does. I completely understand human nature. I get it. We defend people we like. We give them all the ifs and buts and what ifs that are possible in the world. So some of the comments that I did read, I thought to myself, are these people for real? Like, are you legit saying to me that you really believe, you know, that she goes around to every single house that she's in and puts down all the photos of the people? Some of you said, oh, she didn't know that that photo was of Jesus. Okay, let us back this up like a little bit here, right? Let's review the video again. Because if you're telling me that we're being hypersensitive and this photo, it's not a photo, it's a picture of Jesus. Everybody's like, oh, you wrote that it's a photo. Oh, big whoop here, folks. It's in a photo frame. It's a picture of Jesus. No, it's not an actual photograph. But let us look at this and see if we're being hypersensitive. And if maybe Nikki actually thought it was the owner of the house, which I guess she never met, or their family members, which is one of the comments, which is ludicrous and beyond. But that was suggested that maybe she just doesn't know who this family is. So let's watch the video a couple of times because we might be missing something.
Just got to my showing and I'm quickly turning on all the lights, getting it ready for the people that are coming in. Just got to my showing and I'm quickly turning on all the lights, getting it ready for the people that are coming in.
Okay, so who does that look like? That looks like the family that she's selling the house for. which she would have met, but doesn't know that they don't look like Jesus. I mean, come on, folks. Let's pick sense from fucking nonsense here, right? I am insulted when people say, well, that probably, was somebody in the household or she didn't know who it is. That is one of the most iconic pictures of Jesus that I have ever seen. Like every Catholic household, and I'm not even Catholic, okay? But every Catholic household, every Christian household, that's like the go-to photo, not photo, the go-to picture of what Jesus is depicted as. And everybody knows that actually that's not what Jesus looks like. We all know that he was a Middle Eastern man. So, I think it's absolutely ridiculous for people to make comments like that in their attempt to try to defend Nikki. This is the kind of thing that when you do it, okay, you simply say, listen, I screwed up. Okay, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I thought I was being funny. I thought I was being flippant, whatever. I took me now being Nikki, she's the one who took the video. So you say, I took the video. I own up to this. This was at the very minimum in poor taste. Okay. So you just say, you know what? I've got a weird sense of humor. It was in poor taste. I didn't mean any insult by it. Boom. That's it. Own up to it and move on. The only reason we're having this discussion now, and we are still talking about this, is because of the comments that I saw and the amount of ridiculousness that I saw on the social media posts that made me go, is it really the case that these people are not getting it? They really just are not getting it. And that concerns me for more reason than one. And it is so obvious to me that at the end of the day, there has to be some degree of like cultural sensitivity. When you travel to places around the world, right? You don't just remain who you are. And take it from me as someone who has lived in another man's country as a guest for 15 years. Even after I acquired residency, there is still a degree of cultural respect and sensitivity that must exist. I mean, it just seems so simple to me. So Leanne is of the opinion that she would turn every photo down. Leanne, I don't care. To me, that's a non-issue. What I have a problem with is she made a conscious decision to turn down the photo of just one person and show that. Did she turn down every other photo in that house? How would we know? She didn't think that turning down any of those was significant enough to record it and put it on her Instagram page. That we do know. Let me process this potential argument, right? Leanne, everybody can read your comments. As a matter of fact, let's put your comments right on the screen just in case anybody happened to miss it. Read Leanne's comments, folks. Okay? You go into a home as a realtor. Is it common practice to turn down photos? Well, I've actually never seen that before. And I've watched a whole lot of realtor shows. I have a realtor's license, by the way. I have shown properties myself. I have viewed, I can't tell you when we were house shopping over 3 years ago, countless properties. And I have never, and I even did showings with realtors who worked for this particular company that Nikki works for. So if you're going to now tell me it's a company policy, I'm going to call bullshit on that, because I have never seen a photo turned down. Right. I have sold property, my own property, where people have came into my home, a realtor dealt with it, another realtor sold the property, no photos were ever turned down. So if it is the case, honestly, if it is the case that someone has that as a common practice, number one, why wouldn't we have seen it before? Nikki is very good with posting a lot of things on social media. And she believes in sharing stuff on her Instagram stories. So what is the issue, right? Of her showing that this is a common practice, that she does this with everyone. So now Leanne is going to try to make it personal. Oh, I bet no company wants you. Leanne, come off my fucking page. Like, honestly, you're about to get your ass blocked because you're getting on my fucking nerves. You see, this is what people do when they can't argue the argument on its merits. Oh, they want to make it about me. Why am I mad? You know why I'm mad, Leanne? Because someone like you, who claims to be a Caymanian, who has lived in this country, is just as clueless as people like Nikki. We should be standing united to say when people come to this country, you get a clue with our culture. You have to understand that there are certain things that are not appreciated in this country. I'm not a Bible thumping Christian, and I don't even go to church on most occasions. This isn't about that. This isn't about the fact that Nikki is entitled to her own opinion and own beliefs. Of course she is. Nikki can believe anything she wants. But as a professional, someone who's supposed to be a professional, putting up this caliber of a video is beyond, absolutely beyond ridiculous. It is unprofessional, and you can come at me with all kind of bullshit about, oh, company don't want you, oh, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Yeah, I honestly don't care what you have to say, because that does not change the fact that Nikki is, at the very minimum, culturally deaf. She has no clue what's really going on in the Cayman Islands, because her friendship circle is probably this big, and it includes all expats and all foreign people, and none of them have any clue about what's culturally appropriate from what isn't, and they're not going to clue her in on why 99% of Caymanians who view this see nothing funny about it, and they would all be insulted. And it has nothing to do with, in my personal opinion, even Christianity. If that was a photo of Buddha or a picture of Buddha or whoever else, whatever other religious gods there are that are out there, it is inappropriate to go into someone's home and disrespect. Let me put it this way. For you as an individual to have a picture of Jesus in your home, that has to mean I have no pictures of Jesus in my home. I have, I think, 2 crosses, which are pieces of jewelry, right? But if you see people with crosses, religious symbols, pictures of Jesus or Mary or whatever, they take their religious beliefs very seriously. And for you to come into their homes and disrespect them by taking that, it's just a symbol of their belief, right? And putting it face down. If you don't understand why that is insensitive and insulting and rude and something that not only should a professional not do, but even if she did it, why are you recording it and then sharing it on social media? I mean, you people are acting like we were following her around. Yeah, Cayman Mall Road was there for that showing. So we were following her around with a camera, a GoPro or something, recording her disgusting behavior. No, 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 no. She did this herself. So don't be blaming us for calling her out. We're calling her out on something that she decided to do. She decided to do it. She decided to share it on her Instagram stories for potentially thousands of people to see. Now it's been screen grabbed and the entire world is going to see it. There is absolutely no argument that I can accept that makes this any kind of sense, logically or otherwise. So according to Leanne, it's best practices as a realtor. Here we go. Let's make sure we highlight and read all of Leanne's comments, because we know she must be 100% spot on, and she has worked in real estate and she knows what's best practices. Let me just have a second. Let me just look something up here. Let's see if it's best practices. Yeah. Right. Uh-huh. Okay. Don't see anything on here that says it's best practices. I'm looking at all sorts of real estate websites, showingtime.com, Bob Villa, The Balance, seller etiquette for home. Let's see what they say about having photos up. Should you hide your photos? Let me just see here now. Oh, it doesn't say anything in that article either. Wow, Leanne, are you an expert in this area? Because I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering about this. Gee, I don't see it. My God, where is it? 15 secrets no real estate broker wants to tell you. Okay, let's see it. It's got to be one of these 15 secrets because God, it's a secret if we didn't know anything about it. Number 1, nope. Number 2, nope. Number 3, it's not that one, not that one. I don't see it anywhere. Nope, not that one. No. No. Jeez. Leanne, where is it? Where is this best practice? If it's best practices, those of us who've actually studied real estate, which I'm sure you have too, right? You must be an expert here. I had never heard of it before, and I certainly don't see it. And I know a thing or two about staging. Let's keep looking. Okay, let's see. We'll try another thing. Should I remove personal photos when selling my house? Okay, that link isn't working. So let's try another one. Look at this. Jeffrey Hogue Realtor. He is, don't know where he's at, but he says, let's see what Jeffrey says. Okay, the important everything looks good. It's in place. Clean, well-decorated house, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what he says. Okay. In past years, it was the standard operating procedure to remove family photos and other personal items to depersonalize a home. The thought is home buyers would feel more comfortable and be better able to picture themselves living there if the owner things were not present. However, that's old school now. One of the strongest segments of buyers in the market of homes today are the millennials. These customers come from the largest generation of suburban homeowners in modern history, blah, blah, blah. The depersonalization factor has changed. Wow. They are people with families and they want to see, what it looks like lived in, family photos, blah, blah, blah. Oh gosh, Leanne, are you sure you've been keeping up with what is best practices for realtors? Let's see. We could keep going. Depersonalizing your space. Seems like that's not best practice at all. So if that's not best practice, and Nikki claims that she's a realtor and she's an expert, why would she be using or doing something that's not best practice? I don't care if you're a 50 generational Caymanian. Doesn't mean you have a goddamn bit of sense. It is insulting. And I'm sorry that you can't see that, you don't understand that. Lavita wants to know about the Jamaican elections. My dear, we were streaming that before the show, so we got half an hour left for this, and then we'll continue streaming the elections right here so you can watch it. Amy was confused about why we were showing the Jamaican elections, so just in case, she may not stick around for that. But yeah, I just don't get it. So you're telling me to do some research. It looks like you need to do some fucking research. Google. 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 Staging style. Here's another website. Oh my gosh. What's this? Family photos on the wall? Don't believe me. So let me just show you this one. Family photos. Let's pull it up, Leanne, since you claim that we don't know what we're talking about. And we must do some research. It looks like you and Nikki need to be doing some research. So let us have a look right here. Look, see. This is on a website, and you can go check it out for yourself. stagingandstyling.ca. So that's out of California or Canada. I'm thinking this is probably Canada. Hold on, let me try to see. Let's see. I think this might be a Canadian website. Okay, so it looks to me like it's actually good practice to personalize the space a little bit. There we go. Family photos. Da, 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 da. So let me understand the logic behind this, right? And what you guys are trying to argue is that Nikki goes around to every single showing, and if she comes into home with photos on the wall like this, she's going to turn them around because that looks better. Understand what you're telling me? That is going to look better than just leaving the family photos alone or just leaving the picture of Jesus. She didn't show herself taking the photo of Jesus and putting it in a drawer. What she demonstrated in that video was she turned Jesus upside down. And if you know anything about respect and respecting people's religious beliefs, that is one of the most insulting things that you can do. It's like taking the cross and hanging it upside down. There are places in the world, Leanne, thank God that you live in the Cayman Islands and you're a multi-generational Caymanian and you realize such beautiful freedoms in this part of the world. Because there are actually places in the world that had she done that, I don't even want to say what would happen to her. At the very minimum, she'd probably be in jail. Tell her to go to the United Arab Emirates and try that. Even some places in the US, had she done that and put that up on social media, and that was somebody's home, oh, Americans, they'd probably sue her for about $1 million and probably would have won. Only in the Cayman Islands do people get to come here and insult us time and time again, and this is what pisses me off, right? And we accept it. We think it's okay. We turn the other cheek, and we're like, continue to do it. There is a fundamental problem here, folks. There's a fundamental problem when you come to the Cayman Islands and you believe your opinion is somehow more valid on every single topic under the sun than the opinions of people who have to live in this country and who are an integral part of this community. There is a fundamental problem when people come here and they don't understand the importance of integration. Integration doesn't mean that your friendship circle is this big and everybody in your friendship circle looks and acts just like you. It is precisely the reason why the former K-Moms group, is that what it was called? Every single administrator quit. It was renamed and a more inclusive photo was put up of the group. The Cayman Islands is the Caribbean. You know what that means, right? As Caymanians, we come in all shapes, sizes, personalities, whatever. And if you don't understand that and you don't get that, and your little clique is so whitewashed and so Americanized, everybody's from Boston, everybody's from California, everybody's from New York, you're missing the point of living in the Caribbean, and you might as well get on the next BA flight, because that's the only one you can get on right now, and go back to Boston. I don't know whose home that is that she was in. I don't know if it was a Caymanian, a Spanish person, a Jamaican. None of us know. What I know is if you go into someone's home, you treat their home as a realtor with respect. And if it is the case that you are of an opinion that certain photos should not be on display, some people are like, oh, well, maybe she was showing it to a Muslim person. Oh, yes, I'm sure that was probably the most logical explanation. The buyer was Muslim, the buyer was atheist. I do not care. As a realtor, here's what you would normally do. You talk to your buyer before a showing and you find out what they're interested in. You do a little bit of research. Who are they, et cetera, et cetera. You're not just concerned about the dollar signs, because as a realtor, you'll make a better connection with that person and a better fit when showing them properties if you know a little bit about them. I'm assuming she has seen this house, this property before. Let's make that assumption, and then we're going to go to a second here and not make the assumption. But let's make the assumption that she's seen the property before. Obviously, she has seen Jesus prominently on display. If she didn't want him to be there, the proper and professional thing to do is to speak with the client and say, you know what? We're going to be showing your property to a lot of different people. I've already got 10 persons lined up who want to see your property. And some of those individuals may be offended by Jesus being in your living room or your bedroom or wherever Jesus was. You may lose a sale, heaven forbid, because you've got Jesus on display. So that being the case, I would recommend that you actually take down your photos. Take down Jesus if you want to be that specific. Take down any religious paraphernalia that you have in your home. That would be a professional realtor who knows the seller that they're working for, the buyer that they're kind of trying to work for, and to assist in this transaction. Now, let's assume that she has never been in this house before, because sometimes realtors do that. They just get a listing, it's a Cereba listing, and they're like, okay, I've got the keys, I've got someone who wants to see it. I'm not going to go and pre-look at the property. I'm not going to do any of that, right? I'm just going to show up 2 minutes before my meeting and show this. That wouldn't be great. That wouldn't be ideal, because you've not had an opportunity to go through the property and think about some selling points. Well, you know, they've got the high-tech Samsung electronic equipment in their kitchen. They've got this, they've got that. Instead of the usual, oh, well, the granite countertops, you know, all the usual spiel that you hear from realtors, you want to put a little extra spin on it as to why this property is special and why this is such a great deal, right? You could certainly have taken that approach. So if you've never seen it before, but it is her standard operating procedure, which is don't have photos on display. Amy, I must have definitely missed your link. Feel free to reshare it because I want to hear what your argument is. If you are the type of person who goes to showing and turns down all photos, that looks bad. That looks horrible, actually. Like I said, I've never been to showing where I've seen that. But what I would do as a realtor is I would provide my clients with a little check sheet, do's and don'ts of selling your property. And on there, if you really believe that not personalizing your property is the way to go, I would say, please remove all pictures, photos, religious emblems, doggy toys that are on the sofa, whatever advice you have. You provide that to the seller of the property before you go and show it to them. Going to their house and doing what she did, there's no excuse under the sun for that. I'm sorry. Nobody, Leanne, Amy, I don't care what you guys say, there is no excuse for what Nikki did. And sometimes, even as we have friends and people that we want to address, maybe at some point, friends or family, whoever they are, that we want to defend, maybe at some point we need to have an honest conversation with them and say, Nikki, you know, that really wasn't right, girl. You know, stop defending the bullshit. It just wasn't right. And there's no links in the world that would allow me to believe that that was the right way to do this, and the right thing for her to have done was to record it and put it on social media. I don't even know what Leanne is going on about. You're not a realtor. Okay, Leanne. Okay. My business license says otherwise. So you tell me. I have taken property in Little Cayman that another real estate agent couldn't sell, and in 3 days, I sold over 50 lots. Leanne, come off of my page because I'm really going to block your ass right now. You're trying to insult me, bitch. And you know what? You're clueless. You have no idea what you're talking about. Some of us actually have a track record. What are you doing with your life? What are you selling? How successful are you? That's what I would love to know. Don't come for me, Leanne, because you don't have a clue what you're talking about. And coming for me and trying to insult me is the only thing that you got to try to defend Nikki? Is that it? That's it? Really? That's the best you got? Look into my eyes. You see any tears? You think I care what you think? Right? What I care about was the commission check that I was looking at for those 50 plus lots that I sold in 3 days. Cha-ching. Thank you very much, Leanne. Let's keep it moving. Yes, Cameron, I think that this is part of the problem. People like Leanne, who is just unbelievable, really. Okay, Leanne. Let's see your license. Okay, can I bring that up? Let me see here. Paula says, stop fighting, unprofessional. What was unprofessional was the fact that people are on here trying to defend pure foolishness. I mean, it's just like, no, Leanne, we're not going to block you because you're such an idiot. The best thing to do is to allow you to continue talking so that everyone can see your stupidity, everyone can see your ignorance, and maybe there's someone out there that can actually clue you in that you would actually listen to. I mean, I don't know who that would be, so just continue, I guess. Continue talking because no one's really paying you any mind, so we'll continue to give you the floor. Anna, you're absolutely right. She's really just making me go a little haywire on her, but she is just absolutely ridiculous. Yes, I'm the one who's stupid. Clearly, yes. You are way more intelligent than me. I'm going to give you that. That's for sure. Okay, so the bottom line here, folks, is there's certain things that are unprofessional, and I don't care who does it. I don't care if Nikki was a Caymanian, is she from Boston, is she from East End? It really doesn't matter. The bottom line is what she did, recording it and then purposely sharing it, because I think she must have thought it was funny. It was a joke. I'm not really sure. Is not only unprofessional, tasteless, rude. I would love for the person whose home that is to weigh in on this conversation, because by now I'm pretty sure that they have seen the video and they've recognized that picture of Jesus and they know that that was their house. I wish that they would weigh in and say, yes, I'm insulted by that, or no, I don't really care and I'm not insulted by that. What do you guys think? So here's another article about the using of personal photos. Remove or keep when listing a home for sale. This dates all the way back to 2012. So this discussion is that sometimes it depends on the staging. Sometimes it's done. Sometimes it isn't done. It depends. Some people have photos covering every single wall, and that's distracting to buyers. And if that's the case, they might recommend to kind of tone it down a little bit. Here it says with a family wall, it may be a good thing if it's done really well, so people can imagine their own family there. This is David Kessel that says this, who is in New York. And he provided that to the New York Times in an article that they did way back when. So it's a debatable point. Some realtors say it's a great idea if it's done tastefully. Others say no, maybe not so much so. We're not going to sit here and argue all of the merits of it, but what we will say is the more recent articles don't actually seem to see that there's an issue with it, unless it's just tasteless. Now, if she thought that the picture of Jesus was tasteless, like I said, there was a better way of handling this. Leanne, I want you to explain to me, why would she feel it necessary to make that video? Jalissa hasn't seen the video. Jalissa, some of you are tuning in a little bit late, so let me play the video for you again. This is a woman by the name of Nikki Thomas, I think is her name. She works for Engel and Vogel and Engel, something or another, a local real estate company here. They are the real estate company is actually, they're like a franchise of that real estate. So it's like Century 21, but this is a different company. And so she went into someone's home, did a self video of herself where she's showing, she's getting ready for showing. And this is what happened. So this is what we're talking about, just to bring you up to speed, just in case you've just tuned.
Just got to my showing and I'm quickly turning on all the lights, getting it ready for the people that are coming in. Just got to my showing and I'm quickly turning on all the lights, getting it ready for the people that are coming in.
All right, folks. So she said she's turning on all of the lights. So there you go. She's turning on the lights and she is hiding Jesus. Leanne, there's a lot of comments on here that I am not reading, including ones that clearly support what I'm saying. This show isn't about sitting here and reading every single comment, but you wouldn't know that, right? Because you're only tuning in because you're trying to defend the undefensible. That's all that is. Yes, Anna, this is a straight up BS foolishness that we're dealing with. And when we say to people that this is fundamentally, this is not about religion, this is about the lack of respect that people have when they're acting in a professional capacity, when they come into your home, how they treat your things, right? If she would do that with a picture of someone's photo or drawing or picture or whatever, what else is she doing when she goes into people's homes that might be disrespectful? Well, we don't know. We could speculate because that is disrespectful and there's no way to cut it. I don't care what excuse Leanne claims, oh, well, nobody wants to see your granny. It wasn't a picture of her grandmother. It was a religious symbol. And even if it was a photo of her grandmother, turning it down in that matter, recording it yourself and sharing it on your company's Instagram page. This is a thing, folks. Let's not forget the facts of actually what transpired here. Okay? This is where she actually went to her Instagram page. I think it's called Cayman Homes. Yes, Nikki Thomas, realtor. And she shared it for thousands of people to see. And I have looked through her photos, her videos. She does post quite a bit on Instagram. And I have seen no other one like that. So I cannot buy this argument that this is how things are done. And this is the norm in terms of what she does. There's nothing to support that this is common practice for her. I see Nikki posting all sorts of comments about, do this, do that, recommendations for how to sell your property. She just started working with this particular real estate company, right? And so this is a person, let me show you another example of how, for those of you who are like, well, she's just trying to be so professional and da-da-da-da. Okay, well, let's have a look at another photo on her business page, right? If we're going to go with that argument that she is a professional and she is trying to do things, a certain way, this is the kind of thing that Nikki will put on her page that makes me question if we can even give her that benefit of the doubt. So give me 1 second here. So Nikki shared, since she's in the real estate business and you're always trying to give people this perception of perfection, she seems to mingle some personal posts even at times on her Cayman Homes page. And so she shared this, and listen, I'm a mom, so I totally get this photo. Hold on 1 second. which is an image of her own sink at home full of baby bottles that she's cleaning. And she says, nothing like starting your weekend workday with washing bottles. They can say not to rush time, but I can't wait till sweet baby V is 2 years old and we can do away with these forever. We can put these away forever. I would like my manicures to last more than a day, please. Can I get a hands up if you agree? Well, she only got 23 likes, but nonetheless, not quite sure how this is relevant to her being a realtor, but you know, she wants to add a little bit of a personal touch to her professional page. Okay. Right. Interesting. I would invite you guys to honestly think very, very carefully about when you do something. And yes, you think it's funny, you think it's amusing, that there are other people who will not find it funny or amusing at all. In fact, there will be people who will find behaviors like this extremely insulting. A lot of her photos are just standard pictures of professional photos of real estate properties. And I really think that this video has gone above and beyond what we would expect. And I don't care what arguments Leanne is trying to make or Amy's trying to make or her man Michael is trying to make. This is wrong. And this is why you have been crowned Jackass of the Day. It's simple. It is what it is. We can only hope that Nikki learns from this. You know, this attitude of, why are you reporting on me? And this and that. And da-da-da-da. Look at it this way, Nikki. We've just given you a ton of free advertising. Everyone in Cayman now knows who Nikki Thomas is. So maybe you'll even sell some more properties, but I certainly hope that you do so with a greater degree of respect and professionalism and sensibility when you are dealing with your clients. There's one picture here that says new to market and it's for rent and it's got a picture up on the wall. It's not a personal photo, but it looks like some kind of painting. And I'm kind of wondering, does she decide, well, I don't like that painting. I'm going to go and turn that around as well? Somehow I don't think so. Really don't think so. Hi, Donovan. Thank you for tuning in all the way from New York. Cameron says, don't ease up. Boy, I tell you. Jalissa says if she was actually being a professional, she wouldn't have recorded it herself and put it up. And that is the most shocking part about this, which means that obviously, she saw nothing wrong with this. Don't worry, Lily. It's not even all that, you know. We'll be done with this conversation here in a second, and hopefully there will be some lessons learned. And if there are not, should we be surprised that people come to the Cayman Islands and that we have some of our own Caymanians who insult us and who have a very different standard of doing things? No, we shouldn't be surprised. It takes all kinds to make the world go round, is what I can tell you. And so none of that surprises me in the least bit. Having the discussion and the purpose of having the discussion is really to try to get people to think a little bit about their actions and their behaviors and how it's perceived by other people. Maybe to this day, Nikki still sees nothing wrong with what she did. But you know what, Nikki? You're not selling your own house. You're actually acting on behalf of other people. So you are working for a company which you represent, first of all. And in addition to that, you are working for clients. And to do that to a client's picture, photograph, whatever the heck you want to call it, of Jesus is disrespectful. Now, imagine if that was my house. And I've got friends on island who've been to my house and they recognize that photo frame and they recognize that picture. And now they're going, this is the real estate company and the real estate agent that you've hired? Wow. Kind of unbelievable, to be honest. Cameron, thank you for your ongoing comments. She says that you're in math, Cameron, so I guess you better keep hitting that pipe because some other people around here are not making any sense. Leanne thinks that you guys can't read for yourself, so she's demanding that I read the comments. Oh, Leanne, you don't get to come here and make any demands. In case you haven't noticed, this is called Cayman Mall Road, not Leanne McDonald's Mall Road or Leanne's show. It's the cold, hard truth. So I don't have to read your comments. Everybody's seeing your little fingers working overtime. And the people here are actually quite capable of reading your comments for themselves. Anywho, Jalissa, I don't know if you're talking about the bill in terms of the partnership, domestic partnership bill. So that may be coming down the pipeline as quickly as Friday of this week or early next week. So it is coming. Al Ray says, so I would like to see Sandy and Leanne in the same room doing an insult showdown. Who can insult the other one the worst? Let me know the date and time so I can popcorn, and Pepsi. Oh, Al Ray, we're not even going to give it that kind of moment. Caymanian is the day you were born. Well, that makes two of us, honey. So you can't outdo me in the I'm a Caymanian argument, you know. And by the way, that person wasn't talking about you being Canadian. She was actually talking about the real estate agent. And she's not Canadian. She's American. She's from the Boston area. That's where she claims that she has most of her real estate experience. How do you guys think this would have gone down in the States? Maybe I can contact some realtors and ask them. Wonder who would like to weigh in on this. Good question. Al Ray, don't worry. Leanne is still here for it, so she can continue typing her comments. Now listen, speaking of real estate, there is a bill, and I want you guys to, because this is quite an important topic. There is a bill that is coming down the pipelines here shortly. It's actually it's out now, and they're asking for consultation. And this is in relation to foreclosure. So for those of you who don't know your history, some years ago, the foreclosure law was changed. It's not a foreclosure law per se, but it's actually the registered land law, 2008 revision. So just 2 years ago, it was changed unanimously by the members of the LA that makes it a lot easier for banks to take your property. And there have been a huge number of foreclosures as a result of that. And there've been a lot of people saying that this isn't right. You know, banks need to give people an opportunity. They need to be a little bit more equitable in their approach and how they work with people. So, and Anna, you're killing me. Leanne only posts once in a blue moon, but when she does post, she seems to make up for it. No, she does not post under anything else. Like I said, her and Nikki must be BFFs. They must be drinking buddies or something. I don't know, because here we are. So I want you guys to pay attention to this, because this now is where you get to have a say. So there was a discussion paper that was done about the enforcement of mortgage type securities over real estate. Is reform of the law necessary? And based on that discussion paper, obviously, you know, whoever was involved in that thought that some revisions to the law were warranted. So now it is in bill format, folks. Okay. So you are invited to make comments on the proposed registered land amendment bill. And in fact, it's peculiar that this was sent out without a copy of the bill, because obviously if they want you to comment on it, they should be providing a copy of the bill. Oh, look, we've got some WhatsApp comments. So here's a good one. Whomever that do, okay, this is whomever that so-called, okay, not do, so-called realtor is, needs to be put in her place. And she did it as a joke, and it's insulting to any Christian. If it was my house and she removed or put something away without my permission, then put up a video, I would fire her ASS after I cussed her out. She's too rude and disgusting, and you're completely correct about how unprofessional that is and how to make a good sale. You should connect to the client you're trying to sell to and view the property beforehand. And if you have an opinion to improve it, you discuss it prior to the client and see if they agree you remove anything. Anyone that works in sales knows what Nikki did is wrong and disrespectful. Only a fool would defend him, Leanne. Only a fool would defend such rudeness. I can't post on Facebook, so please post this for me. Because you are correct. People come here, have no respect for us, but at all. But I've noticed over the years that disrespectful behavior getting worse and worse. I'm truly sick of it, and it makes no difference if it is Christ, Buddha, or personal photo, sorry. You don't touch people's things, and you don't make fun like that. Just pure, bad-minded, disrespectful to make a video. SMFHO. Only in Cayman, you can get ass wipes doing these things for fun. Okay. So, yeah, folks, I want you guys to stay tuned. Like I said, we will continue bringing you election results out of Jamaica now that the show is over. However, the results so far, oh, someone just sent another message for Leanne. They sent this via Facebook. To that Leanne lady, cha. Here's one from 2020. Why professional photography is important when selling a home. So I think they want me to read this. Are pictures important when selling a home? The more buyers can find ahead of time, the better your chances of getting your home sold quickly. According to the National Association of Realtors 2017 study, homes with one photo spent an average of 70 days on the market, but a home with 20 photos spent 32 days on the market. And that's from KarenCannon.com, February 2020. So very recent. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Anonymous, for sharing that with us via WhatsApp. My apologies for calling your name because I'm sure you did not want your name called. So now this is a comment worth reading. L. Ray says, Sandy, what we really need is more Caymanians selling our land instead of expats. Put a law in place that all real estate companies must employ 60% Caymanians. Ding, 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 ding. Where's the bell? El Ray, you hit it right. You hit the nail right on the head. Maybe that is the problem. This cultural sensitivity that I'm talking about could be dispensed with, right? Now, Amy says, just FYI, that that's in relation to photos of the home, not photos in the home. Well, I'm going to go and click on the link shortly, and I will tell you exactly what it's in reference to. Nonetheless, at the end of the day, that does not negate what happened here, right? Listen, as far as we know, the picture of Jesus could have been the only picture in the house. We don't know what was there. So we're making all sorts of assumptions. We do know what Nikki showed us. And she showed us putting the video of Jesus down. Okay, that's what she showed us. So that's what we're addressing here. Rude, unprofessional. Nikki, don't do it again, please. El Rey makes a valid point. We need more Caymanians in real estate. And I know of a few. There's Ruth Anna. There is, oh gosh, DJ TNT. He's now, can't remember his proper name, but he's doing fairly well. I've seen some of his sales going up on social media. We've got people like Mart Gus. I mean, I want to do a shout out to Mart. You know, there are people here who do integrate inter-community and they eventually become Caymanians and they do it with respect. And there's nothing more. I mean, the world is on the verge of just craziness. You know, America is beyond crazy. The things that are happening there, the lack of understanding for different cultures, or people of color, and all these other issues, right? And I can't help but think that some of those same people come to the Caribbean and they forget the Caribbean is about people of color. And it's about different shades of color, and it's about black, white, and all in between. And so you can't come here with just a singular attitude and pretend like you're still in Boston, or you're in New York, or you're in Saskatchewan, or wherever the heck you're from. There has to be a level of understanding and respect that, you know, you undergo. And like I said, I speak from a perspective of experience. So while Leanne is saying that she is, you know, lived here, born and raised here, unfortunately, well, get your UK passport and leave. You do have choices. You can go anytime you want, right? I left as a child. That wasn't my choice, but I remained in the US, got my first of 4 degrees, and I've come back, and this is my country. And yes, I'm going to express myself. This is the cold, hard truth, and I'm going to own it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like a single thing I say. That's why it's my show and my platform. You can go do your own show. Elvis does a wonderful show, and Elvis McKeever can say whatever he wants in the back. That's what people do. People do their own podcasts. Just like Nikki did her own little miniature, you know, podcast. Go right ahead. But don't think that when you do it, that people are not going to have an opinion on it and they're not going to potentially judge you. How do you become a realtor? Well, Lillian, I'm out of time, but it doesn't require much. It's like any other job. You apply and they can hire you with years of experience, or they can hire you with no experience at all. Cereba has a certification that you can do with them, but there are other people who have certifications from elsewhere in the world who don't do Cereba. You don't have to be registered with Cereba. Cereba is a network. So they do all of the MLS, the multi-listings system, right? So that when they list it on their system, all realtors who are part of Cereba, this is really the benefit and why Cereba takes a 1% cut off the top when you sell something. So all realtors get to share that common, you know, database, if you will, and it gets put in magazines, and, you know, Cereba pushes their clients and their members above anybody else in the real estate space. But anyone can become a realtor if you think you got the required skills to sell property. Robert is joining us. Barreau, thank you so much. He's of the opinion that woman needs to resign. Very interesting. Anna says that I think it's easier for outsiders to gain land and houses here. Most things for locals hard. Outsiders will say how easy and cheap things are while we're trying to survive. Well, that's a whole other topic. And Cameron, we will take your good advice. We need to first respect ourselves. And that's the thing. You know, we're sitting here, some of us as Caymanians think that this behavior is okay, this is all right, and it isn't. And when you lend to that dialogue, and when you don't allow people to understand the importance of cultural sensitivities, being respectful of other people, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's Buddha, if it's Christ, if it's Jesus, if it's whoever. It was the act of doing something like that that is highly disrespectful. And it's unfortunate, you know, because maybe otherwise Nikki's a perfectly nice person. I don't know. I don't know Nikki. But what I do know is this video, and we'll show it one more time in case you missed it.
Just got to my showing, and I'm quickly turning on all the lights, getting it ready for the people that are coming in.
What I do know is that that video has rightfully earned you the Jackass of the Day. We haven't had one in a moment, but that has rightfully earned you the Jackass of the Day title. And if you don't like it, guess what? You don't have to like it. That's how the world works, right? She's entitled to her own opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But being entitled to your opinion and then feeling that like that means that you can disrespect others is a whole other matter. So here's a quick update, folks, on the elections in Jamaica, and then we're going to go back to live streaming that. So those of you who wish to watch the election results, this is what we've got so far. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a landslide for the JLP. Well, so far, I don't know how much of the country is in, but 50 versus 13 sounds like a landslide to me. So JLP, who's in there now, they're the ones who are in, right? The green. Looks like they are giving PNP a beating, folks. Most of the country has gone green, just very small sections going with PNP. So there you have it. Stay tuned, folks, if you're interested at all in what's happening around the world, including Jamaica. Thank you so much. Yes, Evelyn, she turned on the lights and turned down Jesus. Did she ever give a public apology? No. She has not commented at all. And the only thing we know is that her husband or boyfriend or whatever, Michael, has been defending her and making all sorts of ridiculous comments. Leanne has been defending her, and a few other people have been defending her. That's all we know. I doubt she will actually say anything. Anyway, folks, please tune back in tomorrow morning. I can't believe that tomorrow's Friday. Where did the week go? I have no idea. It just flew by. So please, by all means, tune back in the morning. We will continue the dialogue. We've got lots of other things that we'll be talking about. And I do hope that you have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you at 7:15 a.m.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of The Cold Hard Truth. Make sure to check Facebook for showtimes and more information and the latest news at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Subscribe to our IG and Facebook pages to get the latest happenings.